All right. Thank you for staying with us. Now, the Ministry of Petroleum Resources has stated that the federal government is working towards ensuring that various challenges like pipeline vandalism and crude oil theft are mitigated through the use of artificial intelligence. Now, this was revealed during the ministry's stakeholders' engagement with the theme Mainstreaming Machine Learning and Artificial Intelligence into the National Petroleum Policy. According to the ministry, the introduction of artificial intelligence is to explore the transformative potential of advanced technologies to shape the future of the industry and address the current challenges bedeviling the sector. Joining us in the studio to discuss more on this is seasoned technology expert Stephen Bunia. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Now, the government is looking at tackling this matter of crude oil theft using technology. And I am wondering from your perspective, how much revolution this will bring into that industry. We're talking about the petroleum industry and also addressing oil theft.
A great deal, great deal. I'm one of those that believes mainstreaming machine learning and artificial intelligence into the value chain of our upstream and downstream in the petroleum sector will completely change the game.
How so?
Because decisions are driven by data.
Right.
And to be sincere to the challenges they've had so far with pipeline vandalism, crude oil theft, they've actually resorted to somewhat manual approach of physical patrols of those pipeline assets.
And that has given us some level of result.
Yes, yes. But it's not an efficient approach, and it's not an approach that can be sustained in a long term and allow a scale. So eventually, they need to deploy technology, and it starts from the data collection systems and social listening, because there's a way data science basically works. If you want to do anything in artificial intelligence or machine learning, you first need to align the decision makers with that objective. Very, very important, because technology is a tool driven by leadership, particularly in business or in enterprise or in government. It's a tool that is driven by leadership. And we have been advocating that enterprise, government, or any kind of business needs to stop seeing data as an IT cost, meaning something we incur cost for storing, for processing, for analyzing. They need to start seeing data as an asset that should be collected en masse. Because if we get it right, you will realize there will be prompt reaction or preventive action to this old crude oil theft and pipeline vandalism. I believe it's going to revolutionize that space.
Right. So, because oftentimes when we talk about fighting oil theft and all of that, and vandalism and all of that, we always talk about deploying technology such as drones, such as helicopters, and some other things that are even unmanned by man. But artificial intelligence, I'm trying to imagine how we're going to deploy something like that. Although you mentioned data storing, analyzing, which is very key to using artificial intelligence. But how do you think? What role do you think this would definitely play, and how do we put it into practice?
Yes, so let me explain from an implementation approach. Now, there is a very foundational understanding, a very layman understanding. This is not really the core of supervised learning and unsupervised learning as a key machine learning principles that drives artificial intelligence, supervised learning. And let me give you an example. Some things we do today, artificial intelligence, it's a replica, it's a reproduction of the human brain system. Normally, when you want to read a text, you want to read like, I am a citizen of Nigeria. Because you've mastered those characters, you don't see this is I, this is AM, this is CITIZ. That's not how you read. You read through because your brain have recorded those things as words and ideas and not as symbols and characters. Because as a child, you've gone through supervised learning in school where someone have taught you how to divide those symbols, connect them with words and ideas so that when you read, you just read fast and you don't have to study the symbols. That's an example of where you were supervised to learn. Also unsupervised learning. As a child, nobody taught you that you have to eat with your mouth. For some reason, you learn that without being supervised. Now, this is a very layman description of how we build computational models for artificial intelligence. They are built on learning algorithms, analytic models. And in this case, we get to collect data historically and study the patterns. For example, when there is a pipeline vandalism, what are the unique things that happen in that community at that point in time? Can we see community connivance? Are there some social media chatters? Are there some posts on social media that connects with that vandalism? Are there some movements in the community that you can see by drone? That why is there every time there's a vandalism, there's a crude oil theft, there's this movement of this straw from this angle to this angle. Now, basically, you are doing data collection. So what happens now is the next step is understanding patterns in those data collection. Crude oil vandalism happened 2 o'clock on Thursday. Why is this always happening 4 o'clock on Tuesday? Every time there's a crude oil vandalism. Then you start connecting the dots using data science techniques. So once you do that, you now start building predictive models. Because you've collected data using drones, using sensors, not data of the pipeline as an asset. We are talking of structured and unstructured, internal and external data. So much that you even do social media listening to see why is it that when this particular news is trending, every month there's always a vandalism in the next week. Why? Why is this always like this? Now that is how we evaluate. And eventually, once we've been able to build analytic models that gives us this insight, using maybe smart dashboards, you now see, wow, there are some connections in this community. Why are these things correlated? Once you've done that, you now build an intelligence system that requires that intelligence system to understand that pattern and give prompt notice that this truck is moving on. Watch out, 2 days, this thing can happen. These people are gathering here. Watch out, this thing can happen here. So we now start giving prompts for them entire external and external data that governs that data vandalism. Now that's, in layman's terms, how artificial intelligence actually works. So that artificial intelligence now have a feedback loop, where in the case where it predicts wrongly, because I don't want to brand artificial intelligence as the all-knowing, God-like technology. Let's say it predicts wrongly. There's a feedback loop that goes back to that analytic model you built. That say, well, the truck moved, but this vandalism did not happen on Thursday. So the AI assigned a lesser weight to that particular connection. So over time, the AI system knows there are constant correlation between all these activities in this community. So the security operatives can now get into action using prompt decision systems. Yeah.
It's like intelligence gathering.
Exactly.
As it is. But I am here wondering, okay, do we have the human resource to really carry out all of this that you have mentioned? Because we know that, in fact, even in civil service, we'll be talking about having automated systems to address issues. Let's start automating our processes as it is, but we've seen the kind of resistance that has met. And then we are now looking at bringing AI into these matters. Do we have the human resource to analyze and do all of these things that you have mentioned? And how much will people really want to embrace this? Yes, the government is saying it, but implementation is another matter.
Thank you very, very much. And this will call for me referring back to something from the past administration. You see, some of us, we are monitoring this trend, and because that's what we do every day. If this thing don't work, we are out of business, we are broke. so we don't joke with this industry. You see, there are some gaps we've seen. You see, in the President Muhammad Buhari's administration, there was this genuine attempt to move us from digitization to digitalization.
Right.
If you notice, the echo then was digitalization.
Yes.
And it was a good move. It was a good move in the right direction. The problem we have is how we jump suddenly from digitalization to AI. We're no longer talking digitalization.
Can we move like that?
That's the problem.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. We are seeing the gaps. Yeah. The truth is, there's a flow before you get to become a completely AI-driven system. Right. There's a flow. And we shouldn't mistake. I've always said, I've said it over and over, technology is not a medal. Don't do it because you want to score I did it or because I got it right. Don't. It's not a medal. Now we need to understand there are AI implementation that are tailored, and there are those that are just galvanized. Galvanized means the system, the enterprise structure, the governance framework. They're already matured enough. They've been digitalized, and digitally transformed. So they've gotten to a state of relative maturity. They're just advancing themselves with AI. For a country like us, we need a tailored AI approach because, one, in terms of talent, we have a huge gap because we are still struggling with software development. And software development and AI are two different things. As a matter of fact, we work with a lot of software developers. We are still struggling to have a large pool of highly competent software developers that are not willing to learn and go and work in UK or that are going to say, I want to be somebody in Nigeria. That can walk us through digitalization and build smart apps that will completely digitally transform us. Then we can now start talking of automating or implementing intelligent systems like AI. I am one of those that believe AI is nothing without data. And there was a statement President Muhammadu Buhari, the former President Muhammadu Buhari made. He said, we don't have data in Nigeria. He said, we have a data problem in Nigeria. Because we don't have an institutional system where we do data collection, integration, aggregation, processing, storage, and analysis. We don't have an institutional system where our data systems connect to themselves and they are collected in real time. So as a matter of fact, a typical Nigerian don't give data anywhere. The only time you give data is when they ask you BVN. That's my BVN. We don't even know the importance of reporting real-time events. We don't have a crime map as a country. But nevertheless, I want to say something. There's a program ongoing, which is a large-scale training of technical talents in the country. And I'm more of that belief. That's geared towards digitalization, not AI. And the concept of AI, we don't need a large pool of talent to build AI.
Okay.
Maybe you want to digitalize, you need a large pool. You don't need a large pool of talent to build AI. All you need is a community of AI experts, AI professionals, AI enthusiasts, and AI wannabes. If you can, all of us come together as a community. We might not be a lot more than maybe a few millions or 1,000, but nevertheless, it's we that will sit down, study the socio-economic uniqueness, because AI is not just a technology like computing, like everybody was just using. AI will introduce new cultures. AI will introduce new systems, and at the same time introduce new challenges and new threats.
Absolutely.
You understand? So for us as a nation, the problem is not having a large pool of AI professionals. No. Let's digitalize correctly, have the technical talent, then the few people that know how to really do AI, because AI is, you don't really, or technology, there's different, now I've always said computing, technology, and innovation. There are two different legs. Basically, a typical person don't interact with technology and computing. You interact with innovative products. That means you're interacting with an app, interacting with a website. You're just interacting with the product. You are not interacting with the database. You're not, because these are technology. You're not interacting with the cloud console. These are things that professionals like us interact with, the technology, and then the computing we do research and build technology. The truth is, AI eventually, when it becomes well adopted, you don't need everybody to be an expert in it. You just need everybody to know how to apply it, interact with it. Because eventually it's going to collect data. So that's just it.
So if you're looking at this topic on that discussion, the tackling oil theft with using AI, you said we have not been able to digitize or digitalize our processes. Do you feel that we are jumping the gun and
putting the cart before the horse?
Putting the cart before the horse,
or it is dead on arrival?
No.
Or what structure do we have in existence in tackling?
I want to put a proper context into this. What we are doing now is establishing our AI readiness as a country. As a matter of fact, I don't think the country is currently investing in any core AI development. We are building frameworks, launching AI strategies, conducting workshops, putting professional and AI collective. We are building, establishing our AI readiness.
It's not rhetoric.
It's not rhetoric. This is necessary for this stage of this project. But what I'm pointing out is the promotion and the advocacy for digitalization should not be abandoned, because we will look funny as a nation for us to get digitalization to a stage and suddenly start talking AI, and we're no longer emphasizing our digitalization studies.
Because the possibility of abandoning it
is there. And experts across the world know what we're doing. They'll be like, okay, so you guys push digitalization for like 8 years, and suddenly, it's not AI. We're no longer saying anything about it. Because it might mistakenly show us, display us as we don't understand the line between digitalization and AI.
But how do we successfully achieve this when we have a data problem, like you rightly mentioned earlier? Because our data management system is nothing to write home about, as it is often said. So how do we achieve the best results when we do not have data? And gathering data is also a challenge.
I'm very happy you used the word data problem, because it's not data absence.
Okay.
We have a data problem, because there is data everywhere. We just don't have a way to, like I said, ingest it, integrate it, process, store, and analyze. That's what we don't have. Because there's data, every one of us have data now.
Right.
In short, Facebook have more data about Nigeria than Nigeria as a government. You can see Binance, they're asking just for 100 first list of people that you don't want to release. These guys with these apps have more data about us as a country.
That's right.
Yeah.
Than we as a country have.
Yeah.
So the problem is not that we don't have data. The problem is we don't have a way of ingesting, you know what I mean? That is the problem we have. So the point we are making is digitalization solves that problem. It solves our data problem. Why AI builds on that problem we've solved and takes us to the next level. That's why I'm very concerned about. If you see, right now, every Nigerian has data on their phone. Every Nigerian interacts with almost an average of 5 apps on your phone. The kind of data we are looking to build AI are not primarily, we have your personal data, we have your name, email, we have the bank service. Our data about your sentiments, our data about your preferences.
That's it.
Our data about your, these are the data we need.
Movements and
so that the government can have a bird eye view of the country and can build what I can somewhat call a smart dashboard and see why is it that there's always a riot in this region whenever there is this. It's called correlation in data science. And these are techniques that have been adopted globally to build advanced systems. I don't want us to get in a race like that AI is being modernized or adopted overseas and we suddenly want to go on that level. We need to know where we were.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. But building AI strategies, AI frameworks are very necessary to let us know we are prepared, but we are not there yet.
Well, when you talk about preparations, sorry, Ibrahim, my concern as I sit here is threat to our data as it is. How data protection has become another major challenge. Do we have the resource or resources to ensure if we gather this data that it's protected as it is? We see how countries like even the US is suffering now with regards to this matter, so much threat. So this matter of data breach, you mentioned threat earlier. If we are adopting AI, there's also a threat to it. And then how do we handle it?
Okay. Some people don't like my excessive advocacy for AI, but they believe I don't talk more about the threats. So I can use this opportunity to talk about the threats. I don't believe AI will become a god. I don't believe AI will change the world. I don't believe AI will one day become so autonomous.
But you've heard of persons, you've heard of persons even in the US also regretting that they pushed this idea of the AI because of what it's achieving now.
Even in US, there are experts controlling the sentiment. The false sentiment about AI is a global sentiment. Because AI technology is a technology that is pretty recent, and the potential is so huge that we're like, this thing can do and undo. Now, there are ethical frameworks. I remember when they started designing the nuclear bomb, we thought they were going to destroy the atomic bomb. We thought the whole world was going to do. But they are still there under ethical frameworks that keeps them in check. I remember when the computers were invented at the crucible of the Second World War. That was when we had it, and it was distributed, and it became commercialized, and countries, they were a product of war. But now it's being used because there are checks and balances that standardize the production, the distribution globally.
That's right.
AI is just going to end up as another technology that will have frameworks, regulations in place, and we're just going to continue to cope. But can it innovate our lives? Can it create a knowledge gap where we're going to end up in a society? Currently we have a financial, a capital gap in this country. There are so many people that are so few people that are so rich and so many people that are so poor. We're going to end up with that kind of system that is knowledge-based. You have so many people that knows the technology and so many people that don't have an idea about it.
Yeah.
But it won't defeat the purpose of humanity. It won't. But nevertheless, it will introduce new challenges for the unprepared. It will defeat the objective for the unguided, and it will create supremacy for the ready, those that are ready. You understand? That's the problem we're going to have, because the poor countries might become poorer.
Right.
The dependent countries might become more dependent. The bad economy that are not adopting AI can get worse. Now, those are the things that can happen. And the problem I have is,
where do we stand in all of this?
Now, thank you. You see, we first need to understand what I would want to call the system maturity index for AI adoption. A system maturity index. There are steps every system must study to know where do I start from. These decisions are not things you do by analysis because you understand the industry. There are standard methodologies. For example, System monitoring. Monitor your system data. Do you have it? Can you see a dashboard and see trend? This is the cyclic trend of our economic system, cyclic trend of poverty, cyclic trend of health mortality rate. You can see everything. That means you have sufficient data to monitor your system. I'm not making this up. These are standard maturity index to know where do you start your AI journey. Then you go to system insights. Now, what can I learn from this data, this is my monitoring system? Can I see there's a cyclical pattern to riots in the East? There's a cyclical pattern to hunger here. There's a cyclical pattern to flood. And I have insight. The next step is now we do system optimization. You see, this system optimization is where you now start building smart systems, smart applications that make your system more efficient. You see, the first 3 steps are things that helps you optimize and become more productive. So the first thing to ask yourself, have we successfully completed the system monitoring phase? Are we collecting data from all our touch points as a system, as a country? If you see if successfully we have data, then move to insight. How do we now do, so then you move to...
The question is, where are we?
the truth is, I think I don't want to ridicule our effort because as a country, we've tried. I don't want to ridicule, but I think we are still at the system monitoring phase. That's the very first thing. There are 5 stages, and you are still at the base.
So beyond the effort of the government, what role do you see private sector playing in supporting the government's efforts to combat crude oil and vandalism using AI?
I think the private sector needs to help us empower the security forces, because there's no AI you implement. There's no depth. There's no drones. There's no robotic system you implement. If you don't empower security with things like facial recognition, motion sensors, remote surveillance systems, these guys can help you. So what I think private sectors can do is to collaborate with security forces as you are implementing these AI systems for the oil and gas value chain. At the same time, be empowering the security forces with rapid response infrastructure, prompt notification system, facial recognition infrastructure. Let them have all these infrastructures so they can respond and support you, because this is what they are trained to do. You can help use AI to detect, prevent, and prescribe solutions, but they are eventually the ones that will get this job done for you.
So even, because if we are tackling vandalism and also oil theft, it's still related to the insecurity we have faced in this country. So there is issue of insurgency, terrorism, kidnapping, etc. Can AI also be deployed in fighting this?
Absolutely. You see, the application of AI seems endless. Whatever a human brain can do, AI can do it. And let me just give you one small statistics. You see, the human brain processes huge amount of data. The human brain receives signals from your eyes, from your ears, from your nose, where you receive signals in huge volume. But actually, we don't process, maybe, I don't want to use figure, but there are very large numbers. So let me say we process data like the size of Nigeria. We don't end up processing as much data as the size of a football. If what we receive as a human brain, signals that we receive in our brain is that much as the size of Nigeria, what we process that information is not more than the size of a football. But what AI would do for us is take us from that level of limitation and help us support like terrorism, agriculture, healthcare, and more.
So as it is right now, because so that we just situate things for the country, and then for those who are watching that need to take the necessary steps and decision as government, how do we move from here?
Okay. I think I first need to give credit to this technical talent training going on. So I am of the opinion they have strategy to move this people from trainees to practitioners. There should be a journey for them. So for us, first thing we need to do is we need a data integration framework as a country, where if you can be posting on Facebook daily, some people post daily on Instagram. Can you post one thing for Nigeria monthly?
Where?
Monthly. We will create you an app for you. We need to, I'm just giving you an example. We need a data ingestion system where we're not only collecting internal data from government transactional and operational data, we're collecting data from citizens. Now, what we've done in this country so far, we use sensors for that model. We conduct sensor and collect data. The world has moved beyond that kind of data systems. If you interact with any government agency, we are collecting data from you, and that data is automatically synced to a central database, not on paper, not when you want to go, just when you are writing paper. We have a system where we've created a data integration system where the whole country is not submitting data. You see, if we solve that data integration step, AI model building AI is very simple. Because once AI can see pattern in data, correlate it, and apply analytic algorithms, it will be predicting the future for you. So what we have as a problem is our data integration system, collection, processing, storage, analysis is a big problem. Nigerians supply more data to Facebook, to Instagram, to X.
But
than they
don't you
supply.
think trust is also a major problem here?
Okay, the trust is everywhere in technology.
Yeah.
Even me, that at this level, people that don't trust me to provide their service. It's normal. Trust is everywhere in technology. There's nothing wrong in having trust deficiency.
Right.
But we are a primarily trust deficient society. I don't want to analyzing the potential for insecurity because there is no 100% security anywhere in technology.
That's right.
I am one of those that tell people don't start argue. There are some big platforms that you will see they've had security breaches with the billions of dollars they've invested. So we shouldn't start looking at it from the doubtful angle. Let's first be willing, be open-minded to say, okay, let's even submit this data. Let the government provide framework. There are technologies that secures data. And we shouldn't assume someone will go down and be unlocking the security. They are talking that secure data. So let's move to that stage.
Because Nigerians will tell you, but it's still humans that will still manage these things. Please, I do not want all of this.
It's normal. We're trust the society. We don't trust ourselves.
Is AI something more like a garbage in, garbage out something, or it's way beyond, more complex than?
It's way beyond that. If you build AI well, the garbage in, garbage out concept will really not apply that much because AI has a feedback system to itself.
That's right.
So if AI see I made a wrong conclusion, it will go back and correct it and it will make a conclusion the next time. If you made the right conclusion, it will go back and say give this conclusion more weight. So next time make it more often. That's basically what AI does.
Interesting.
So it federally apply.
Right. Interesting conversation, Stephen Onia, a seasoned technology expert. Thank you for your time
You're
on the
welcome.
program. Thank you. Well, this is where we draw the curtains on the program for today.